It's rather a mild day here. The weather doesn't look all that good. Not exactly ideal cricketing conditions. You were out in the middle earlier, Jim. How did the pitch look then?
Thanks, Richie. This is a really good cricket pitch with something in it for both the bowlers and the batsmen. There'll be some movement there for the bowlers, but if the batsmen keep their concentration and play sensibly, there should be plenty of opportunities to score. After the first few overs, it should play evenly throughout the match. A tough call, perhaps a good toss to lose. Back to you, Richie.
Nash to bowl the first over of the day. He's struggling to get back here. He looked as if he was home to me. It's straight to a fielder. That's straight up in the air. Nash won't like that at all.
That's a demoralising sight for any bowler, seeing the ball sail over the fence.
No wicket for 9. Nash to bowl to Trescothick. He's worked that into the gap. No wicket for 10. Super wicket keeping. Knight is now on strike. That's the first runs of the day for Knight. The batsmen are after 2, fielded in the deep by Adams. 49 overs are left in the innings.
The openers have really started well. They're taking advantage of the one-day fielding restrictions.
Let's take a look at how the innings has gone so far. Nash has finished with figures of 10 overs, no wicket for 69. Gough is the opening bowler for England. 289 runs required. Racing away. That's the first boundary for Never. The score is now no wicket for 4. So they need 8-5 to win from 9-8 balls. It's straight at Thorpe. It's a mix-up for the batsman. I think he's easy back in reach there. Gough to Nevin. Didn't quite get hold of that one properly. Overs are left for New Zealand.
The one-day fielding restrictions really give attacking batsmen an advantage at the start of the innings.
Carrick to begin a new spell. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Carrick to bowl to Nevin. Into the gap. The score is now no wicket for 6. So they need to 8-2 to win from 290 balls. Hit straight to a fielder. Carrick to Astor. That was a cracking delivery from Carrick.
He's fishing a bit outside the off stump there and was completely beaten. New Zealand will be looking to take full advantage of the early fielding restrictions by scoring some quick runs.
The required run rate has crept up to around 5.5 and over. There it goes. That was really well judged. It went a long way up.
That was moving pretty quickly and he did well to cling on to it.
Nevin is making his way back to the pavilion. The next batsman is Vincent. New Zealand move on to 8. New Zealand have taken their total on to 1 for 9. So they need 280 to win from 283 balls. A very good over. Only 2 offered in the end.
The fielding restrictions provide the opportunity for attacking batsmen to score some fast early runs.
Caddick to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 5.5 and over. Great shot by Astle. That's the first boundary for Astle. 1 for 13. Hit straight to a fielder. The total is now 1 for 14. Stopped by Knight. Bowler won't like that one little bit.
Another one of those, and this bowler could be out of the attack.
The score is now 1 for 20. Astle is now facing. Comfortably taken, no worries.
A slight fumble, but safely taken in the end.
Astle makes his way back to the dressing room. Fleming is the next batsman in. 11 runs were picked up from that over by Caddick. The new batsman comes in at the non-striker's end. The run rate stands at just under 5.5 and over. There it goes. Vincent is out for a duck. So then, that's the end of Vincent.
That's an extremely long walk when you've been dismissed for a duck.
The next batsman in is the right-handed Cairns. Gough gets his second wicket. New Zealand are 3 down now for 20. Cairns to face the hat-trick ball. .269 runs required. Those are the first runs for Cairns. There it goes. That's the first boundary for Fleming. Fleming waiting at the striker's end. That's the end of the 5th over. The required run rate is around 5.5 and over. There it goes. Picked up very early by Fleming.
Cracking shot. The secret there was that he got his feet into position early and had plenty of time to play the shot.
So they need 259 to win from 268 balls. So they need 259 to win from 267 balls. Carrick continues. Stopped by Flintoff. Carrick to Fleming. Gough to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 5.5 and over. Pushed into the gap. The batsmen are coming back for two. Picked up on the boundary by Flintoff. New Zealand are 3 for 33. Fleming waiting at the striker's end. That was an athletic stop by the keeper. That takes him into double figures. 43 overs are left for New Zealand. Carrick to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 5.5 and over. Great shot by Fleming. Really looks in fine nick today.
Everything was in the right place there. It fairly raced away to the boundary. Hit straight to a fielder. There's a mix-up with the batsman. He looked as if he was home to me. There it goes. Super shot by Fleming. He played that shot perfectly.
Nicely avoided by Fleming.
He looks really fired up today. That was certainly a very quick delivery.
It's in the air. That over eased the pressure on the batting team. Gough to begin a new over. The run rate stands at just under 5.5 and over. Comfortably taken, no worries.
That was a loose shot. He'll be kicking himself about that one.
So then, that's the end of Fleming. The next man in is McMillan. New Zealand, 4 down now for 43. Those are the first runs for McMillan. So they need 245 to win from 249 balls. Gough to bowl to Cairns. Cairns waiting at the striker's end. That's too short, and it's been dispatched before. That's the first boundary for Cairns. We're about to see the first bowling change. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. New Zealand move on to 49. Vaughan to McMillan. I think he was easily back in the crease there. That's the end of the 10th over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Brilliantly caught.
For those of you watching at home, that's a good example of how to take a catch.
Cairns goes for 8. Adams is the next man in. Gough has taken 4 wickets now. New Zealand 5 down now for 49. Vicious delivery. Gough at the start of his run-up. Stopped by Knight. He looked as if he was home to me. That's the first runs of the day for Adams. A very good over. Only 1 off it in the end. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. Hit straight to a fielder. That's a superb shot. That's the first boundary for Adams. 5 for 54. Played into the gap. Carrick out at long on. 5. Now for 55. Hit straight at Flintoff. So they need 233 to win from 229 balls. Great shot by McMillan. That's the first boundary for McMillan. 38 overs are left for New Zealand. The run rate stands at just under 6 and over. There it goes, and he's got away with it. Gough to Adams. New Zealand move on to 61. Gough to McMillan. That's too short, and it's been dispatched before. You really can't afford to pitch short on this track.
Well, a delivery like that really is easy pickings for any quality batsman.
Stopped by Trescothick. Born to continue with his off-spin. The required run rate is looking more out of reach here. I think he was easily back in reach there. 5.65. Adams waiting at the striker's end. Five 66. Born to Adams. Straight up in the air. The score is now 5 for 67. Superb shot. That takes a double figures. Adams waiting at the striker's end. The required run rate has crept up to around 6 and over. He didn't quite get hold of that one properly. Hit straight at Giles. McMillan waiting at the striker's end. That's too short. 4 runs. Super shot by McMillan.
Fantastic shot there. He knew it was 4 as soon as he struck it.
Comfortably taken, no worries.
A slight fumble, but safely taken in the end.
McMillan has gone for 17. The new batsman is the left-handed Harris. The required run rate has crept up to around 6 and over. They have 35 overs to get to 112. That takes him into double figures. The score is now 6 for 78. Vaughan at the start of his run-up. You'd beaten all ends up by that one. 34 overs are left for New Zealand. England about to make a change in the bowling. The required run rate has crept up to around 6 and over. Hit straight to a fielder. For all the way. Adams won't miss anything bowled 2-4.
That was a wonderful shot. He looks in great shape out there.
207 runs required. Adams is now on strike. A nice shot, but it won't make it to the boundary. .33 overs are left for New Zealand. The required run rate has crept up to around 6 and over. Hit straight to a fielder. Adams facing. Played into the gap. Vaughan to bowl to Harris. That's the first runs of the day for Harris. Vaughan at the start of his run-up. Well played, but the fielder will cut that one off. 32 overs are left for New Zealand. Giles to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 6 and over. Not timed perfectly, but they'll get some runs anyway. He's worked that into the gap. Giles at the start of his run-up. In the air and gone.
That was a bad shot. He really seemed to lose concentration.
Adams is finally out for 19. He's gone. First ball. That was a superb delivery.
Well, he's completely misjudged that one. He won't enjoy seeing that again.
Nash makes his way back to the dressing room.
Out first ball. He'll remember that for a long while.
Giles gets his second wicket. Vettori takes guard. A very good over. Only 2 offered in the end. Vaughan to begin a new over. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. There it goes. New Zealand are 8 for 90. Vettori facing. That's a lovely way to get off the mark. There's a mix-up with the batsman. That's the end of the 20th over. Giles to begin a new over. The required run rate has crept up to around 6.5 and over. Giles continues. That's gone high in the air. That's the first boundary for Vettori. Giles at the start of his run-up. It's straight at night. Giles to Vettori. That's straight up in the air. New Zealand are 8 for 97. There have been many matches won over the years, not only by the high-class batsmen, but by the tail-enders as well. It's absolutely vital that they provide their share of runs. Apart from anything else, it frustrates hell out of the opposition. The reverse sweep came into prominence when Mike Gatting of England, who was skippering them at the time, tried it on Alan Border in the 1987 World Cup final. He was dismissed court and Australia went on to win the game. Now, players like Andy Flower of Zimbabwe, Craig McMillan of New Zealand use it as an attacking weapon, and they've actually hit sixes with it. All good pace bowlers have had a good Yorker. It's best when you're up against a batsman with a very high backlift, and it's especially good these days when used with the modern day reverse swing. Glenn McGrath's one who bowls it very well. The reverse sweep came into prominence when Mike Gatting of England, who was skippering them at the time, tried it on Alan Border in the 1987 World Cup final. He was dismissed court and Australia went on to win the game. Now, players like Andy Flower of Zimbabwe, Craig McMillan of New Zealand use it as an attacking weapon, and they've actually hit sixes with it. The qualities of a great batsman are best shown these days by watching Sachin Tendulkar. He has the ability to play very straight in defence of back and front foot, and he has close to perfect footwork. Add to that a wonderful range of strokes, and you have a great entertainer, as well as someone who is brilliant technically. One thing to remember is that if you're intending to hook, do try to get your head and body inside the line of the ball. I tried it the other way one day at the MCG and was carted off to hospital with a fractured skull. Generally, a hook shot is played behind square leg and a pull goes in front. The required run rate has crept up to around 6.5 and over. That's a fantastic strike. The bowler won't like that one little bit.
The bowler won't like that one little bit.
That moves the score into 3 figures for New Zealand. Vettori is now facing. New Zealand have taken their total on to 8 for 103. Great shot by Vettori. He was onto that in a flash.
The square drive is a tremendous shot. That was hit with great power, 4 all the way.
New Zealand are 8 for 107. Vaughan at the start of his run-up. 28 overs are left for New Zealand. Giles to begin a new over. The required run rate is around 6 and over. Comfortably taken, no worries.
He got into great position to take that catch.
Harris has gone for 2.
He's classified as a tail-end batsman, and you can understand that after watching that innings.
That's the first runs of the day for Tuffy. New Zealand have taken their total on to 9 for 108. He's really given that a whack. 6 runs. He hardly seemed to hit that, yet it sailed over the ropes.
What an effortless shot. Brilliant.
Well played, but the fielder will cut that one off. Vittori has now moved into the 20s. The batsmen are looking for 2, picked up by Knight. 173 runs required. That's 10 off the over now. The bowler really needs to keep it tighter. Tuffy facing. Ten runs came from that over. The run rate stands at just under 6 and over. They have 27 overs to get 170. Well, the fielder's not going to cut that off. Vittori very quickly onto that one.
That's not the right line to bowl to this batsman. He'll punish anything there.
The score is now 9 for 123. That's straight up in the air. Well, that was 6 as soon as he hit it.
Well, you can't set fields for shots like that. That's brilliant.
That's well off the over now. So they're proving to be quite expensive. 160 runs required. Played into the gap. Born the ball to Vittori. It's right at night. Giles begin a new over. Run rate stands just under 6 and over. They have 6 overs to get 159. Giles continues. Stop by the same. He's worked that into the gap. Vittori is now on strike. 9. Now for 131. Giles continues. Steered expertly into the gap. So they need 157 to win from 151 balls. Giles continues. That's the halfway mark, 25 overs. We're about to see a change in the bowling. The required run rate is looking more and more out of reach here. It's high in the air, out, no, dropped. Vittori waiting at the striker's end. That's too short. 4 runs. Looks in good form out there.
That was a great shot to watch. He just leant into it and stroked it to the boundary for 4.
Well played, but the fielder will cut that one off. Tuffy is now facing. Ouch, that must have hurt. The new batsman won't face for the time being. The required run rate has crept up to around 6 and over. That must be close. So to sum up then, England win by 50 runs. These are the bowling figures. The bowling figures for Giles are 5 overs, 4 for 25. Well, let's take a look at the scorecard.